like to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow. Every day
So how's it going, guys, and welcome back to the second part of the review on the special cars in Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. In this second part we're going to be looking at the rest of the cars that I did not manage to put into the first part yesterday. So the first one is the Wastelander. There's not really much I can say about this car. It is reasonably priced, so that's sort of a bonus, but it has no functions or really any point in being in the game. The only thing that I can think of is it's quite good off-road and it can go through shallow water quite easily because it's so high, the car. When it comes to speed and handling, braking, it's below average, if anything. It's nothing special. The price isn't ridiculously overpriced, but if they had put it any more than what it is, it would have been ridiculous. There's a bed on the back where a car goes in one of the missions, as you can see on the screen here. You do not get to use that offline. You can't put a car into it, and if you do manage to get a car on the back via cargo bob or jumping on over a little ramp, it's really not going to sit in the back very well. It'll just slip out or just bug out and flip the car over. So there is really no use for this vehicle. This is one of the ones that are ridiculously poor, so I'd highly recommend not picking up this car unless it's your type of thing. I know it's from the Fast and Furious and it's pretty cool, but there is no use for it in my opinion. There's going to be a few people that enjoy it, but me personally, I thought it was a big waste of time and a waste of money as well, so I wouldn't recommend picking that one up. But on the second one now is the Blazer Aqua. Now here's another quite controversial one. It's a good idea. It is a jet ski that has wheels, so you can take it on the water and on land whenever you choose, which is quite a cool feature, but for the price that you pay, and it has mounted machine guns that are pretty much useless because they only shoot straight forward, and when you are out in the water there's nothing that you can shoot, and when you're on the road they're really weak. They take a lot of bullets to damage or even blow up a car, and you don't get to be able to choose grenades or any of your guns whilst driving it. You're stuck to using just the miniguns on the front. I'd prefer to be able to use sticky bombs or my own weapons whilst riding on the Blazer Aqua. But like I said, it is quite fun to use. I wouldn't say it's a 100% waste of money, but if you buy it, you're going to probably use it a few times, think, okay, this is pretty cool, and then it's sort of just going to sit in your vehicle warehouse just gathering dust. You can take it to the custom shop, which is quite cool. You can put rims on it, paint it, put a little bit of performance modifications on the vehicle, so there's a little bonus that you've got. But apart from them few things, it's really not worth all that much. The better ones in this list are towards the end of the video, so stick around until the end and you'll see the ones that I would recommend that you should actually buy. I just wanted to get these ones out the way first, the ones that really don't have much purpose of being in the game. And just like the technical Aqua, when you go in shallow water like the river that I'm in now, it is quite fast. When you go in the ocean, it's not too speedy, it's a little bit faster than the technical Aqua. When you're on road, once you've upgraded it yourself and put the turbo and the engine modifications, it is quite fast. I can't take that away from it, but I'd rather just use one of the quad bikes that you can get in the game for going off-roading, and then maybe buy a jet ski. You're going to save yourself hundreds and hundreds of thousands, so just keep that in mind. You know, if you want to sacrifice having to call in a vehicle once you get off your jet ski, call in your quad bike, it may take a minute longer than just having this, but it's going to save you a lot of cash, so keep that in mind. Now on to the next one. For this one we're going to be taking a look at the ramp buggy. Now I like this vehicle, it's pretty cool, it is quite fast. Handling and braking, stuff like that, the performance is a little bit above average. It's not ridiculously good and it's not bad. The speed, it does get there quite quick. It looks really cool and it is fun to drive, don't get me wrong. Being able to flick cars out the way, you'll see them in a minute or so. I'm actually doing one of the missions, so there's not many flicking the cars out the way that you need to do. But this vehicle is fun to drive. The novelty does burn off quite quickly, which is a shame. Once you've taken it out a few times, it's the same with a lot of these vehicles actually. Once you've taken them out a few times, they get not boring, but they get a little bit repetitive. And if you use them in, you know, moderation, don't absolutely abuse the cars, don't take them out all day, every day, and you're probably going to be fine. But in my opinion, the ramp buggy is overpriced, ridiculously overpriced. You're going to see here in a second the price of the actual vehicle. It's way too much for what you get. I was quite disappointed, and one of the bad things about this car is you can only flick roughly between 25 and 35 cars, and then the vehicle just decides to set on fire, starts smoking, and literally stops working. So that is a real big problem that I find with this vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. So you're driving down the motorway, flick about 25, like I said, 25 to 35 cars up in the air, and the vehicle will break. It will set on fire, blow up, and it will just stop working. So that's really disappointing, like really disappointing, and especially for the money that you spend on this, you'd expect it to last a hell of a lot longer than what it had. But I suppose we can't have everything our way, and it's just one of the things that you have to deal with. We don't create the game, we just play it. So, maybe if they ever done an update and fixed it where it lasted a bit longer, who knows, that would be wicked. But that's enough for this one, for the ramp buggy. Now for this third one, we are going to go on to the Bruner 2000. Now I love this vehicle. Some people don't really enjoy it that much. There is one issue with this car. It is ridiculously overpriced, as you can see on the screen now. And when I say ridiculously overpriced, it is beyond a joke. So there's only going to be a very small amount of people out there that will be able to afford this. But if you can, if you've got the money spare and you don't need it to buy anything else at the time, I'd recommend picking this car up. It is so fun. Like when you're in police chases, it makes you want to stay in a police chase just because of how fun it is evading them and taking them for a spin. They can't keep up with this vehicle. As you can see here in some of these clips, you just jump over railings, over cars, use your parachute, get away. It's amazing. The rockets that you get with the car are absolutely ridiculous. So you see how fast they turn there. You shoot them and they snap down onto the target that you're locked onto, and it absolutely obliterates them. These rockets can literally turn back on themselves and follow a target that goes behind you. They're ridiculously overpowered. They have a range of roughly around 50 meters less than what you get on the Buzzard and the Savage and all the other vehicles that have the homing rockets. This one though, you sacrifice a little bit of range for a lot more accuracy and power. They snap onto targets, like I said, and instantly just obliterate anything that it comes in contact with. The speed of this vehicle is amazing because it is a muscle car, so once it gets a bit of traction on its tyres, it's full steam ahead. This car is not to be messed with. As you can see there, I tried locking onto that chopper and it actually flicks down and it just smashed the police car beneath me. There's nothing that car could have done. And you're going to see here in a second, look, I've just climbed up that hill, I'm out of the river, and now, rips that chopper out the sky, absolutely no problem. And I think, right, let's carry on here. See 2 police cars over to my left, nowhere near them, shoot the rockets, and look at that, straight into them, absolutely obliterated. It does have machine guns, but they're not as powerful as what you'd like them to be. They're very similar to the ones that you get on the Blazer Aqua. So if you're going to use the rockets, be careful with them because you only get 8 per life in the car. So once every life in that car, you will only get 8 rockets. The car has to be destroyed or recalled in again for you to get your 8 rockets back. So keep that in mind. But it is really fun to drive. Now for the very last one is going to be the Rocket Voltic. Once again, this is going to be a hit or miss. It doesn't really have much of a purpose being in the game. It's a novelty item, but it doesn't really run out that fast. I like to call this car in, take it out for a spin, use the jet engine on the back to send myself miles up into the air, or as you can see in one of these clips here, reverse into cars or civilians, smash them out the way, they start fighting each other. It's absolutely brilliant. So you want to give this a try. Once again, obviously with Grand Theft Auto's logic, if it's good, it's expensive, and there's no compromise on this vehicle. It's going to cost you a hell of a lot of cash. It's a little bit cheaper than the Bruner 2000, but it's not cheap by any means. So like I said in the previous video, if I could make the prices for these cars and set them lower than what they are, I would. But I don't work for Rockstar and I don't have any say in the price of these vehicles, so there's nothing I can really do. The speed of this car is exactly the same as the standard Voltic. It gets up to its top speed really fast. It doesn't have a ridiculous top speed, but the acceleration is great. And obviously with this rocket on the back, if you're at a complete standstill and hit that rocket, you'll be at top speed in literally a second. it gets there so fast, it's unreal. And if you use your head, be quite creative with some of the things that you can do, you can hit some absolutely sick jumps in this car. You'd be surprised how far you can send yourself if you hit the jumps right as well. And after a little bit of practicing, you can take it out and just stunt away. It's absolutely ridiculous. So that is pretty much the video for this second part. There is going to be no more of these. That's all done with. So I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. Let me know once again in the comments what you feel about these vehicles, if you've got them, if you're going to buy them. Let me know your opinions on if you enjoy them or not. Also, if you've got any questions for a future video that's coming up soon for a Q&A, leave them in the comments below so I can read them, and then if they're good enough and if they're not the same as what everyone else is asking, I will put them into the video for the Q&A. So with all that being said, I hope you have enjoyed. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.